fans, and welcome to a special edition of The Supler. We are worldwide on VOCNation.com, WrestlingTruth.com, and iTunes. I'm Andy Kwan, and with me from America, LOL, is Liam Dunn.
Yes, from America. Definitely not pre-recorded before I go. Definitely in America, yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
You're not breaking the fourth wall.
Totally not breaking the fourth wall and revealing that this is pre-taped, because it's not pre-taped.
This is actually live.
This is live. This is everything is live. Everything in the universe. Look, there goes a bald eagle as I talk. And there's some Native Americans. How do Chief Bulls-a-lot?
Pretty sure that's racist.
It's not racist, that's his name. He's looking right at me. Because I'm in America.
His name is Chief Bulls-a-lot.
Bulls-a-lot.
Ah, Chief Bulls-a-lot.
He's their first homosexual chief.
Jesus.
What?
Dear God.
Hey, look, you're always the one that goes, I stand for equality. Why can't a homosexual be chief of a native Indian, American, whatever they want to call themselves, tribe?
Because you're just doing it now on purpose.
I'm not. I am actually in America. And look, there
Anyway, yes, you're in America. What time is it over there?
Whatever time you want it to be. That's the beauty of America. The American dream. You dream what time you want it to be. So if you're like, you know what, I'm going to say it's 5 o'clock now.
I'm pretty certain that's not the American... Anyway, we're moving... Fuck up, shut up.
Okay.
So, basically, around this time last year, we talked about why TNA sucks. And it got us a little bit of publicity, eh? So this time, we're going to talk about why wrestling, including TNA... in general, sucks.
And what they can possibly do to correct this current direction that the industry is going in.
Indeed. You know, death. So, we shall start with what was my favourite promotion on the planet, Ring of Honor. Liam.
Yes.
Have you seen any Ring of Honor lately?
I've been watching a lot of Mike Bennett and Maria, simply for Maria, because...
Congratulations,
hard. But...
Hot. So yeah,
But I mean, the thing is,
thing,
I can't really talk too much about Ring of Honor, because...
Good, I will. Yes.
In all honesty, I'm not interested so much in the independent scene, unless it's Maria. But... I mean, that's just me, you know, I don't have a lot of time on my hands. I'm not like Andy, who faps, then watches wrestling, and then faps, and then watches wrestling, and then sometimes faps whilst watching wrestling.
That's not what I do.
Hey, I'm not judging it. It's up to you what you like to fap over.
I don't fap. Yeah. So there are some good things about Ring of Honor. Yes, Maria, that is one of the reasons. But I would argue that they do sometimes have some decent matches. Like
they do have matches. I forgot. I just usually watch Maria.
Brilliant. So things like Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards and Richards and Michael Elgin. Basically anything with Davey Richards in is good. I think, for the most part.
Well, we're going by what you say here. You're the Ring of Honor expert.
Yay! So there are many problems with Ring of Honor. For instance, Liam, do you know who owns Ring of Honor?
You mentioned it once, but to be honest, whatever you say goes in one ear and out the other. I never listen to you.
That's brilliant. You know what? Thanks. We're just doing a fucking podcast. Like, everything you say, I don't remember. Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's good insight there, Andy. Well done.
No worries.
I completely agree.
The people who own it are called Sinclair Broadcasting Group.
That's
now, Liam,
the one.
as a man who does not know that much about Ring of Honor, what do you think this Sinclair Broadcasting Group would be good at?
Broadcasting.
What do you think they're really shit at?
Broadcasting.
Correctamundo! Yeah! Bing, 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 bing! It's complete shit. Like, their production is so bad. Like, they don't even have standard definition cameras. And HD, dare I say, is now becoming just standard. It's just the norm. And this group is called Sinclair Broadcasting Group, and they can't afford, or they don't have fucking decent HD cameras in 2012?
It does.
What the fuck's that about?
I have seen a couple of Ring of Honor stuff, not just for Maria. I'm gonna be honest here, but I have seen a couple of their stuff, and in all honesty, it does look like something from early 2000s in terms of the production quality. In fact, I'm actually surprised that their stuff is recorded in widescreen television, because I was pretty sure up until I recently started watching Ring of Honor that you couldn't have low quality widescreen cameras, but oh no, you can. That's apparently possible. But as a guy who is within the media industry, just through film, television, radio, podcasting, I know what it takes to broadcast something that is of good quality and of bad quality, and there are some crap cameras out there. I'm not gonna lie, there are. Simply just to make a quick buck, a $50, $100 camera, to be honest, isn't going to be that great. If you want a decent camera, you're gonna have to invest some money into it. Now, I've got my trusty camera over here in the corner. I'm looking at it right now. HD Panasonic camera. Cost me £500. For Americans, that'd be about $800, give or take. That is a good quality camera. Not the best, but it's good quality. It's certainly better than what Ring of Honor is giving.
Yeah.
Now, back in the day, this sort of camera would have cost thousands. You can pick it up for £500. That, for a good quality camera, that is damn cheap. You have no excuse, Ring of Honor, and I'm sure we've said this on a past episode, but there is no excuse for the poor production quality. You can get some decent editing software pretty cheap as well. I work with Adobe Premiere Pro CS3, which in all honesty isn't even the best on the market. If you're talking about the best, you want Avid. Going into film mode here.
Sony Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, if you know how to work Windows Movie Maker, that is good enough, if you know how to use it.
If it doesn't crash on you every 15 seconds, yes, it's brilliant.
If you know how... Well, that's the thing. I know what it's compatible with. You don't, so hence why you get a lot of breakages. But if I needed to, I could work with Windows Movie Maker, and I could make it look damn good. That's what I mean. You can get some decent editing software out in the market, really cheap. Doesn't even have to be the best. You have no excuse. It does look really unprofessional. And this is the thing. This is what I don't get. You look at something like Ring of Honor, which is probably the third biggest promotion in North America, and it looks as bad as some of the other independent scenes out there. And when I say
I would argue some of the other independent promotions like Shikara and PWG have better cameras, better editing, better everything than fucking Ring of Honor. And Ring of Honor is supposed to be owned by, again, a broadcasting group.
And that's what I mean. Let's just look at the Supla. I'm not comparing us to anything out there. I just want to take us, for example, here. Me and Andy, we don't make any money from the show, but we don't put any money into the show either. Is the quality great?
I have paid for the equipment that I use, but that's it. And give or take, that's only £30.
Okay. Is the quality great? It's not spectacular, but you can listen to it. You know what
Still better than Ring of Honor.
You know what we use? We use Skype, which is free. We use Audacity, which is free.
Yep.
I have headphones from a local supermarket that cost £8.
Yep.
And it seems to do the job. You've got to... I'm not saying, Ring of Honor, that you do have to put a lot of money into it. If you want to go the cheap way like what we do with this show, then that's fine. But
well, we're students, so we have to.
Think about how to execute it. Like I said, is this show amazing quality? No, because it's not professionally made. It's two young men using free stuff that they found on the internet. But god damn it, we try our best to make sure that you don't think that. Frankly, I've just given away the secret of the game.
Well, we've just broke the fourth wall. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last Supla you ever hear. Goodbye.
But it's true, though.
Kidding.
We're not exactly we don't have a studio, we don't have radio microphones, professional microphones, but goddamn, we try to make this sound as best as we can. And Ring of Honor, they don't seem to do that. Either invest in good quality and then just lay back, or if you're going to invest in crap quality, work your arse off to make it look better, like what we do.
Yeah. And the worst thing is, apparently, like, one of the reports that I did when we were running Wrestling Truth was they were going to invest in HD cameras by like 2013. You're like, that's too late. You should have done that from the fucking beginning.
Yeah.
But also,
Even WWE. Let me just talk about WWE here for a second with their HD cameras. They moved into high definition and widescreen in 2008. Now, as a guy who has been in this industry for 5 years or so, I've looked at the evolution of the television industry and the way it broadcasts. 2008 was actually late coming into high definition. That was late. 2013 is like trying to say, hey guys, we've just given women their rights, when the rest of the world's like, dude, where the hell have you been? This has been going on for a while now.
did you just compare HD TV to the suffrage movement?
Maybe.
Jesus Christ, Lee. Fucking hell.
Hey, I said women have rights. I'm just saying, you know, some people are late to the game, like Saudi Arabia. Oh, wait, no, they listen to this show. We better not say that. Don't want my hand cut off. So,
What?
apparently we're pretty big
made no sense. What you just said made little to no sense.
Well, apparently we're pretty big in Saudi Arabia, and I heard I heard they like to cut people's hands off if you do anything wrong. So I'm just like, whoa.
Because if you steal, you doesn't matter. Look, right. So, another issue that I have with Ring of Honor, and I was going to move on before you made that weird joke, was, Liam, we are able to put our stuff on the internet. Do you think a group such as the Sinclair Broadcasting Group that own Ring of Honor can do that? Do you think they can actually do that properly?
They could, but they might not want to.
No, you're completely wrong and you fucked up my joke. Thank you very much. You were meant to say no. Say no.
No.
No, they can't even do that properly. Because they left, I can't remember who the internet pay-per-view provider is. I think it's like Go Fight Live or something.
Alright, yeah.
And they fucked up a pay-per-view that they had. So then Ring of Honor tried to do it themselves. You never guess what happened.
What happened?
It failed.
Why?
Power shortages. Fucking people couldn't view the fucking pay-per-view, and it was the exact same problems that the Go Fight Live people had. Also, they gave another pay-per-view away for free for the people that paid for the other one because they couldn't watch it. So basically, what happened was they had a banner on their website and it just said click here to watch if you ordered the last one or whatever. If any person clicked on it, you could have watched the pay-per-view for free.
So even if you didn't have problems,
according to the Observer, that was what was a thing. So they're fucking idiots. They have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They can't know what they're doing because they ironically left one internet fucking pay-per-view provider because they got sick of their bullshit and they're still doing the same shit that the other fucking provider. They tried doing it themselves and they're fucking it up. What was the fucking point in leaving? And you had people like Kevin Kelly saying, well, I'm paraphrasing here, like just hating on Go Fight Live TV and just saying they were crap, they're awful, thank God, or something like that. And then they can't even fucking do it themselves. What a bunch of pricks.
I can't really comment.
Fuck Ring of Honor. But there's another person who has been a part of Ring of Honor for at least 3 years. Jim Cornette. You ever heard of this man, Liam?
Oh, yes.
Now, Jim, for the longest amount of time, has been the closest thing to wrestling has to Gandhi in order to hate on TNA, right? This guy is wise. He's brilliant. He's a great mind in the business. He said that Russo was like a fucking twat. He said Johnny Ace was a knob. But ever since Jim Cornette has come back to Ring of Honor and became like the booker, it's been complete shit. Like, every single shoot interview that I've seen that has had Ring of Honor stars talk about Jim Cornette, Davey Richards said that Jim Cornette was completely old-fashioned.
Right.
Kenny King says that Ring of Honor were trying to be edgy, but then, like, they don't even have a fucking edge. And of course, Jim Cornette is the one that's fucking like leading the booking on that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just he's old. No offense, but
he's stuck in his ways, basically.
He's stuck in SMW and stuck in the fucking early 80s, 90s. He's just stuck in that shit mentality. And even Austin Aries, who's now TNA World Champion, said that Ring of Honor is basically Smoky Mountain Wrestling of Honor. Because Smoky Mountain was like, you know, like in the South they got their like wrestling and all that shit.
Yes.
Like it's very Southern.
Right.
No offense to Southerners. But
love how you have to put that disclaimer in there because apparently they might get offended.
Because, you know, some people don't like them. And
well, black people for one.
Shut up! You're making this worse. So, and Ring of Honor when it was first started was like more of a kind of hard-hitting kind of, I don't know what the best way to describe it is. Just not fucking wrestling. Look, and it's like they've taken everything that was good about Ring of Honor and then they just went, well, we're going to do the exact opposite. And you're just like, what the fuck? I think as a booker, he's too old. As a wrestling mind and as a commentator on the industry, like Russo's a dick and fucking Johnny Ace is a twat and all this stuff. That's fair enough. But any person could have turned around and gone, Russo is a complete shithead.
You just need to look at what Russo's done, and I think most people would come to that conclusion.
Yeah, I don't
think anybody's ever thought Pinata on a pole match. Fantastic idea. Well done.
What's so good about Jim Cornette anymore? I don't understand it. This product sucks. No offense, Jim. It sucks.
I think this is a problem with sort of things like this with like Ring of Honor and even TNA and WWE. They have these creative members who they've had for years and years and years, and they have one great run, like the Attitude Era. Let's be honest, that made Vince Russo's career. I know we hate Vince Russo, but he was a creative member during the Attitude Era.
Yes.
Why does that man still have jobs after WCW? Because of the Attitude Era. But it's quite clear that what worked 10 years ago or 15 years ago doesn't necessarily work now. Well, the world evolves. Industries have to change in order to survive. If you try and keep it like it was, you get what we've got at the moment, and that's a slump in pro wrestling.
Yeah, and the worst thing is, like, I saw they put some of their episodes on YouTube, which I think is actually a good idea, but one of the episodes had like Charlie Haas and Mark Briscoe or somebody, and it was a Texas death match, and they were just saying like, oh, this match hasn't been done in 10 years. You want to know why? Because it's shit. The idea is you pin your opponent and then it basically becomes a last man standing match.
Right, that makes sense.
So you pin them and then you get off them and then the referee counts to 10 and then if they get up before 10 the match continues. That's why the last man standing match was invented, Jim. Not hard. For fuck's sake. They were claiming, oh, it's the first time in over 10 years. Oh, I'm Jim Cornette. That's the worst Jim Cornette impression in history.
Yes.
And I'm just like, why is this a fucking thing? Like, why? What the fuck? And the crowd didn't give a fuck by the end. And there was like, I think this was an ending to one of their previous matches, but they had like a bottle of ether.
Mm-hmm.
And like chloroform or something, and put it on like a rag, and the match ended with like putting the ether in like Jay Briscoe's face. So they were teasing that spot, which was completely fucking stupid to do in the fucking first place. So instead, the match ends with fucking Jay Briscoe, or one of the Briscoe brothers, hitting Charlie Haas over the head with this bottle, which, by the way, is a plastic bottle.
Right.
Not open, just hitting him in the head with a bottle, and he can't get up and all that shit. And he's just like, That is the worst fucking thing I ever see in my life. And you got Jim Cornette going, "Bang on, bang on!" No, that's JR. You got like Jim Cornette just like, "Ha that was the greatest thing I've ever seen." And the crowd are like, "The fuck is this shit?" It's terrible. He's a shit booker.
I think what we should say, I think the main conclusion is that people like Jim Cornette, they do need to be in the industry, but in terms of lead booking, not so much. Maybe as a consultant or a producer or something, but in terms
he is the consultant. That's the problem.
Well, what I mean is that he shouldn't be in charge of the booking then. He should be there to be as a producer or something. But
he needs to like give advice, because he's a tremendous promo guy.
Yeah.
Just give advice. This is what the older generation need to do. Give fucking advice, not fucking hang around for fucking ages.
At the end of the day, I think what they need to do is they need to bring in, I'm not saying people like me and Andy, but they need to bring in younger people who are up to date with what the demographic that they're aiming for wants. That's the other thing. They're looking for that demographic of young male adults. But they've lost
half their fans anyway.
These guys are like in their 50s, in their 60s. They don't know what kids want nowadays. You've got to remember, the attention span of our generation is much shorter than the attention span of their generation. And you know what? The attention span of the generation below us and two generations below us will be even shorter. That's the thing. They need to get people who are within the demographic that they're working in and be the lead booker. Take charge.
Hire me.
I'm being honest though. Jim Cornette can be a producer and just go. He can be a consultant in a way, like, you know, we should give this guy some promo time, but he shouldn't be the one who goes, sense. I think this guy and this guy need to be in a feud, and it should be about this, and we need to get this person involved, and then this person runs out. Shouldn't be that. Let current young people take charge of the product. You should just be there to be like, hey, let's not do what ECW did and bankrupt the company.
And I think as well, there's another underlining problem that's been a problem since Ring of Honor's existence. They have failed to make any new names from about the time, like, even when CM Punk left and Samoa Joe left, you still had your Bryan Danielsons, who's now Daniel Bryan. You had Nigel McGuinness, you had Colt Cabana, you had Davey Richards, you had the Briscoes, you had Roderick Strong. You still had some decent workers and actual fucking recognisable names that you could associate with Ring of Honor. Now, out of those fucking people that I just said, 2 of them remain, and they have not fucking... They tried to, but they just can't reach that fucking level for whatever reason, that I don't know what that reason is. Like, Eddie Edwards had a run with a belt, and now he's doing nothing. They're trying to do that with Kevin Steen. I mean, they're doing an alright job, but it's like... They've had to bring in people like Homicide and fucking... Yeah, they got Nigel McGuinness on commentary, just to kind of make it seem...
Get back some of that audience.
Yeah, and it's just like, no, the idea is
in fact,
you've got to make new people.
The only way I know Kevin Steen is simply because The Rock tweeted him once. If I'm going to be honest,
this is the problem. This is the problem, and I mean, I'm not taking anything away from anyone on that roster, because there are talented people. This is the fucking problem. There are talented people like Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly.
To be honest, this is the first time I've heard any of these names.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. They're not promoting these fucking people enough. Fuck Michael Elgin. His name's not Fuck Michael Elgin. Although, if I was a part of Ring of Honor, I'd probably do something like, fuck, it's Michael Elgin. Michael Elgin, who else is there? Who else?
We get the idea.
I don't really know if Mike Bennett's any good.
We get the idea, Andy. Just wrap it up.
Okay, cool. They have failed to make any new stars, and that has hurt the company. Because it's like with any independent promotion, you need some kind of security or some kind of, I don't want to say blanket, but you need something to fucking, if WWE hired, like, I don't know, Davey Richards tomorrow, who the fuck is going to replace Davey?
I think a bigger question is, who the hell would know Davey? Because, to be honest, I didn't really know him until you mentioned him. The only it's exactly what you said, though. A couple of years ago, I might not have watched Ring of Honor, but I knew who CM Punk was, who Bryan Danielson was. I knew Samoa Joe worked for the company. I knew Christopher Daniels did. I knew Austin Aries. Now, the only one is Kevin Steen, simply because The Rock tweeted him.
That's the problem. They've completely fucked up their roster, and their roster is full of fucking really talented people. And instead, what they've gone and done is they've hired people like Rhino and Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin and Maria, all these people from WWE and other fucking companies. It's like, why? You've just fucked yourself over. Because even if the All Night Express still was a fucking tag team and Kenny King was still in the company, who the fuck is gonna actually believe that they beat them for the tag belt? Because you're not fucking pushing them enough. It's just stupid. This is the problem. No fucking names that are recognizable to the everyday fan. That's the problem. I'm sick of talking about Ring of Honor. Can we talk about TNA?
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, thank you. So we'll might as well go on with the stuff that is good, because in the last TNA fucking thing, we were like, everything's shit. So we might as well say something that's good. Good point. Austin Aries, as of the time of this recording, when Liam is in America, he is the world champion.
Totally.
TNA being live is obviously a good thing.
We've said it needs to be, and this is a step in the right direction. Definitely. Definitely.
And I believe this, but I don't think Liam will. TNA has the best roster in terms of actual talent and star power at the moment. Even if you got rid of all the old fucks, I think that the roster right now is probably the best right now.
Hang on, can I interject? Talent,
yes.
I agree with. Stars, I don't. I don't think they've got as many stars as the Northern Company that we will get to in a bit. But
okay.
I think talent, I agree with. I mean, there's not very many talented individuals in WWE that I can really think of off the top of my head. But stars, I don't know. I think more people would recognise John Cena's name as opposed to Austin Aries.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, like...
And I'm not counting any of the former WWE employees here who's at that company. I'm talking about simply TNA has been the one and only major company they've been with.
Okay.
That's who I'm talking about. Because if we're gonna use, because you said excluding the old guys, and to me, anybody who's considered an old guy is a guy who went to WWE, was fired or got bored, and then went to TNA and decided to cut a promo going, I hate WWE, only to go back when they get offered a new contract, kind of like a certain former Intercontinental Champion who lost the belt on the 1000th Raw of episode, whatever. I won't mention names, but I'm pretty sure you can put two and two together.
Yes.
So I think talent, yes. Stars, I would disagree with.
I mean, we did mention all of these problems before, but the fact that they're still at the fucking Impact Zone.
Yeah.
When they've done shows outside of the Impact Zone. I mean, the fuck, they went internationally and drew one of the biggest crowds ever here in England, which is a bit weird. So, why the fuck are they still at this fucking shed? I'll never understand. Because they can't make any money from ticket sales, right?
They can't, because
that's the theme park,
they make their money through the theme park tickets. And I think that's the other reason why they do it, because Universal Studios, I'm just going to put it honestly here, isn't exactly cheap to get into. I'm talking about, like, a proper ticket, a decent ticket is going to be about £90 or so. It's pretty expensive, but for the quality, you kind of expect it. But TNA is obviously not going to see that much from that. From that £90, let's just say, I'll just say for the sake of argument, let's just say $90 for the sake of argument. From that $90, they're probably going to see the company by itself is probably going to see about $1 or so, because they've got employees in front of the crowds to pay. They've got employees behind the scenes. They've got the maintenance guys. They've got to buy the food. They've got to pay for the electricity. So TNA as a whole is probably going to see about $1, if that. But Universal brings in a hell of a lot of people, and I mean thousands in a day. Add all that together, TNA's bringing in some decent money by itself.
I hate the idea.
And that's the problem. I think they're too comfy there, and they're not willing to sacrifice it.
They are a glorified indie fed at this present moment or a glorified regional indie fed, because like they hardly ever leave the fucking Florida area for fucking for shows. It's just annoying as fuck. Just leave, for fuck's sake. It doesn't matter.
I think the problem is
you're never gonna get any bigger being stuck in a shed.
No, they're not, and that's a fact. And I think that's the problem. I think they're too comfy and they're not willing to take the risk. Because if they take the risk, it will go either one of two ways. It will go either really, really good, or it'll go really, really bad. And I think they think that they're not ready yet. And you know what? I think they might be right. I think they might not be ready, in all honesty.
Well, if you travel to new markets, you fucking, you're building up a reputation in new markets.
Yes,
it makes more
but
sense.
I think you need some decent stars. You
have to lose money to make money. That's a fact of life. It's called business.
No, I agree with you. You've got to lose money to make money. But the thing is, people aren't going to be willing to come to your event unless they see and recognise names. And that's the thing. You've got to have it headlined by certain people that people want to see. And then through the opening and through the mid-card, you reveal, you showcase new talent that they might not have seen before. And then that's how they make new stars that way. And I think...
Well, I think the stars that they have now, they need bigger exposure. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, but so let's look at their current stars. Their main stars are people like Hulk Hogan, like Sting, people who were stars in the early 90s.
Yeah, that's a fucking
you don't have to be mathematically genius in order to realise, hey, I saw these guys wrestling 20 years ago. They must be pretty old by now.
Yeah, most fans now are probably really young, so they probably have no fucking clue who any of these people are. They probably think The Rock and Austin are old, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, which is quite weird.
Never mind Hogan and Sting. And here's the thing. Bound for Glory's in where the fuck is it? Phoenix.
Right.
In Arizona, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if they did a couple of shows in Phoenix.
Just like
in Arizona as a whole.
Just like 2 or 3 episodes as a lead up.
Yeah. To help promote the show. Not stay in Florida, which is nowhere fucking near Arizona.
That is a very good idea.
Why not do that? Why not? Because then you're exposing your stars in that state where you're having a fucking pay-per-view, and it's not just any pay-per-view, the biggest pay-per-view of the fucking year. Do a couple shows there.
This is their WrestleMania.
Yeah, they've said it themselves, which they should never say, because that's like saying, we're trying to be like WWE. No, shut up. Stop saying things.
And by saying this is like our WrestleMania, you're like, yeah, WrestleMania's still bigger though, isn't it then?
Yeah, just say, this is our super show.
This is our big one.
Our super card. Our own Super Bowl. You can use that fucking analogy if you feel like it.
There you go, you've got that one for free, TNA.
Yeah, there you go. Pay me my fucking royalty check, you twats. But I just call them twats, so they're not going to give me any money now. The thing is, imagine if they just did that. Just expose themselves in an area that they've never been to before, and then people are like, this TNA isn't that bad, let's go to Bound for Glory. I don't know what people in Arizona sound like.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yes, but I want to go see TNA.
That was the worst impression of an Arizonian I've ever heard in my life.
That's not my fault. I've never been. Look, and the worst thing is about TNA is they're so confused about what they are called.
Yeah.
Are you called Impact Wrestling? Are you called TNA? It confuses the fuck out of me, to be completely honest, because you'll have Austin Aries say, I beat Bobby Roode, who was the longest reigning champion in Impact Wrestling history.
But it quite clearly says he's the TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
Exactly. What the fuck? Like, make up your mind what you're called. I mean, like, fuck. Does he mean then, in Impact Wrestling, mean like the start of the TV show? Or the start of TNA Wrestling as a whole?
No one knows.
What do you mean? And then people will look at the belts and think, what does this TNA mean? What the fuck? What's happening? Why is the belts red and the fucking everything's blue? Fuck, it doesn't make sense. It's stupid. And then on pay-per-view, they've got like the TNA apron and the red ropes and the TNA logo everywhere. And then they just have like Impact Wrestling just dotted randomly.
Yeah.
It's like, make up your fucking mind. What the fuck do you want to be? Do you want to be TNA Impact Wrestling? Do you want to be Impact Wrestling? Do you want to be TNA? Do you want to be fucking a monkey flinging a turd in its fucking cage wrestling? I don't fucking know. Make up your fucking mind.
So
God.
stupid. No, you're right though. You're right.
Make up your fucking mind. Jesus, that's like WWE saying WWE Raw SmackDown Wrestling. It's stupid. Doesn't make sense. Anyway, well, as much as we can talk about this all day, somehow, some way, there is now a far worse wrestling company than TNA Wrestling right now.
Yeah.
WWE is by far the worst wrestling company right now. It is so bad. It is boring. They've had the same guy on top as the face of the company for 8 fucking years. Let's put this into perspective, right? The Attitude Era went on for, some would argue 3 years, some would argue 4 years. At least then it had different people, like, I don't know, Stone Cold, and The Rock, and Triple H, and The Undertaker, and Kane. Now it's pretty much just Cena.
Yeah.
For 8 years! That's double the amount of time that the Attitude Era has been around. Plus, they insult the fucking fans by having a non-existent brand split.
Yeah.
And the World title and the WWE title are now the equivalent of, say, the Hardcore title and the fucking European title now.
I've said several times the world title is now just a glorified mid-card belt.
The WWE title is a glorified Intercontinental title.
Yeah, well, it's the fact that at the time of this recording, where I'm in America, the WWE Championship has not main evented a pay-per-view in 2012. The last pay-per-view it actually main evented, it closed the show on, it was the big match. The last pay-per-view was TLC 2011. We've gone 8 months without the WWE title being in the centre of the picture.
How many fucking times have we had the World Heavyweight title defended in an opening match at a pay-per-view?
Let's have a look at how many times Cena has been in the main event of a pay-per-view.
I don't want to, it's gonna hurt my head.
Royal Rumble? No, he wasn't in the Royal Rumble. Elimination Chamber? Check. WrestleMania?
WrestleMania? Check.
Extreme Rules?
Check.
Over the Limit? Check.
Check.
No Way Out? Check. Money in the Bank? Check. That is 6 out of the past 7 pay-per-views Cena's been in the main event. And if it wasn't for the Royal Rumble being the Royal Rumble, it would have been 8. It would have been straight 8.
I'm surprised Cena didn't win that.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't just put him in it anyway.
I'm sick of seeing this fucking prick.
How many of those matches has he won? Elimination Chamber? Yep. WrestleMania? Surprisingly, no. Extreme Rules? Yep. Over the Limit? Yep. No Way Out? Yep. Money in the Bank? Yep. So he's main evented 6 pay-per-views. He's won 5 of them. He's won 4 in a row.
It's just not... Why? Just why?
And you wonder why people start booing him. Because he gets shoved down our throat.
This is got to be the worst period
And not only does he get shoved down our throat, he's a boring character. He's
a cunt. That's what he is. He just is, and I hate saying that word, but he is. He's just a twat. An utter stupid twat. He's not fucking good. He's not good charismatically. It's not even his wrestling ability. He's just a twat. He's a boring fucking twat.
He's not even.
He promotes the PG era, and there's like, oh, I can't swear.
And then he makes
you're
fun
a
of
knob.
it. And then he makes fun of it.
He's a dick. He's a fucking dick. His t-shirts are ugly as fuck. He thinks he's a fucking Marine. He's shit.
And then when everyone starts booing him, instead of doing the natural thing of, I don't know, turning Cena heel, he decides to go, well, rise above hate. Yeah, no.
What does that even mean? What does that mean? What does that mean?
The problem is, it's like...
You're in wrestling, for fuck's sake.
It's a typical problem
Means nothing.
in terms of just normal storytelling. The character is so one-dimensional that, in fact, I think calling him one-dimensional is a compliment. And I think we've said that joke before. Now that I think about it. But the thing is, look at characters that are beloved. People like Batman and Darth Vader and things like that. They're these characters who have depth to them.
A personality.
Just look at Batman. Batman is so interesting because, firstly, there's the idea of who's the real Bruce Wayne. Is it the billionaire playboy? Is it Batman? And then there's the fact of, you know what? He's a little bit nutty to the point where he could almost be a villain. And there's that sort of I don't want to say it because people might think I'm talking about a certain book here, but there is that sort of grey area. I was going to say shades of grey, and then I thought maybe not mention that. But there is that grey area where there's that chance that things might change. That there's that depth to them. There's that realism to them. John Cena is just this boring,
one-dimensional, boring fuck.
Uncorruptible. He is this. The thing is that he's...
Super Paper Mario is more dimensional than John Cena.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's too uncorruptible. That's what I'm saying, is that...
It's just utter shit.
No person is like John Cena. Just looking at it from a society
realistic
point of view,
perspective.
People have good and bad in them. No one person is 100% good, and that's the problem with Cena. They try and market him as being 100% good. To that whole point of the Kane, embrace the hate, John. No, I've never embraced the hate. Well, you're human. There are dark elements to you. And this is why it's so boring.
Why did you get a divorce?
You're too much of this indestructible, uncorruptible, subhuman person that could never exist in society.
The problem is that his character has been going on for so long. Even Randy Orton has had, 3 fucking changes to his character. At first, he was like this blue chipper Randy Orton. Then he became Legend Killer. Now he's the Viper. At least he's
don't forget, he was heel Viper and babyface Viper as well.
Yeah, so at least he's had some kind of changes. Batista had changes. He was... Evolution's bodyguard.
Before that he worked with Devon, remember? Deacon Batista.
Yeah. We forget that dark, weird period of time.
Where he was Devon's bitch.
He was Evolution's bitch. No, he wasn't. He was Evolution's bodyguard. Then he became the Animal. And then eventually he became heel Batista, right?
Yeah.
Everybody said that Batista as a heel would be the worst thing ever. And Batista as a fucking heel was the greatest fucking thing he ever did in his career. At least those 2 stars, Batista and Randy Orton, who came out of the same generation that John Cena came out of, have had some kind of change. Cena was a rapper and then became this.
Yeah.
And he's been stuck like this for fucking, 5 years.
Longer, I'd say.
Can't be asked for it anymore. He's a detriment to the fucking company. He's boring as fuck. He's stale. It's repetitive. I don't care. Do something different with this guy. Or fucking get rid of him. and build somebody else, because it's pissing me the fuck off. They tried to with Punk, and they fucked that up royally. So,
Yeah,
they
but
fucked themselves
at least Punk's actually had changes to his character.
Yes, as well.
He was babyface Punk, then he was heel Punk, and then he was Nexus Punk, and then he was best in the world Punk.
Chris Jericho has had so many changes, and he's been around for nearly double the amount of fucking time that John Cena's been there.
I don't get why they
Why
don't let...
can't you... Even Stone Cold had fucking changes. The Rock had changes. Hulk Hogan had changes in his career. Why is this fucking green shirt wearing dumb boring wannabe rapper marine fucktard on my screen still in the fucking character that he is?
It's exactly like what Rock said. The only thing different about Cena is that he
It's
just
the
changes
shirts.
the colour of his shirt. That is it. But it's true though. We have seen the same John Cena since 2005. It's been the same Cena since he debuted. It's been the same Cena since then.
Yeah, and you know what the worst thing is about this fucking scene is? WWE like, well, he's the most controversial star in WWE history. That is not a fucking selling point.
No, it's not even controversial. Controversial's me.
And it's not even a good selling point when he's the face of your fucking company. When half an arena boos him when he's supposed to be a good guy, that's not
And his only
good.
change to it is going, well, rise above hate. I'm still going to do what you all boo me for.
You fans can do what you like, because you paid to be here. I'll just do what I want. You shouldn't be saying that. You should be saying, like me, you fucking pricks. It's not.
At the end of the day, he's supposed to be a good guy.
Because that's what a normal human being would do.
Listen.
Not
He's
what he
supposed
says.
He's supposed to be a good guy. He's getting booed. And then he goes, you paid to be here. You have the right to boo me.
Oh my god, who the fuck says that?
John, they're not booing you because they think, oh, I'm paying, I can do what I want. They're booing you because they want something different. At the moment, it's just a waste of money. They're seeing the same thing that they could have watched on TV 8 years ago.
10 years, no, fucking 5 years ago.
And that's the issue. You shouldn't be going, you have your right to boo me. You should be going, okay, evidently I'm doing something wrong. Let me change my character in order to do that.
Here's a perfect example, right? You know when The Rock was Rocky Maivia and they would chant, die, Rocky, die?
Yeah.
And Rocky sucks? How did Rock's character change? Oh yeah, he became a heel and he said he hated the people.
He became The Rock. He stopped being Rocky Maivia and he became The Rock.
The Rock. Why can't you learn from history, your own fucking history, to the point where now you've got boo, and then everyone's like, well, he's the most controversial star in history. You can hate me if you want, because you people paid for it. Like, what?
If they turn Cena heel again, he might just actually be able to become the new Rock. He'll never become The Rock, or this current generation's Rock, because of the way they handle him. And it's too... WWE, for some reason, and I don't know where they got this from, but they are just too obsessed with merchandise. And they know that Cena, for some reason, I don't know why people buy his merchandise, but for some reason he shifts the most. His belt design is the most selling belt replica for some reason. Why anyone would want that ugly piece of crap, I don't know.
Yeah, you know when Punk was a heel, and he brought out that new white t-shirt with fucking...
Best in the world.
Yeah. Hello? The Nexus t-shirt. The NWO's fucking t-shirt. Fuck me, D-Generation X's t-shirt. Heels can still make merchandise. Morons. Utter morons. They have forgotten everything that made them good.
They feel like they've got to protect Cena because he sells to the kids, and the kids, let's be honest, kids are stupid. They'll cheer for anyone they're told to cheer for.
Kids are stupid and they'll get their parents to buy stupid things.
And that's why they get so protective of Cena, because they know the kids will buy his new shirt. And they don't want the kids. They want the kids to keep...
another face that
yeah, but the thing is, you've got to look at it from a kid's point of view. You're not exactly going to buy the t-shirt of a heel. You're going to buy the t-shirt of the top guy. And that's why they won't turn Cena heel. And that's why I think it's wrong. They should... I just think they're too protective of merchandise. And hence why we've got a subpar, one-dimensional character that we see doing the same stuff every week.
And over again.
But it's true, though.
I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of him. He's not entertaining. And they're called World Wrestling Entertainment. And he's not
They should change their name to WWB.
What would that mean?
World Wrestling Boredom.
Or World Wrestling Cena.
World Wrestling Cena.
That's...
They should... No, it should just be CCC. Cena. Welcome to Cena.
ILC. No. No, that doesn't make sense. They should call it WLC. We love Cena. That's what they should change it to. It's utter shit, and I'm sick to death of Cena's twat. And it's not like... This isn't like a typical, like... Boo! Cena sucks! 5 moves of doom bullshit. I mean, this is legitimately... I'm sick of this twat on my screen.
We're not jumping on the bandwagon of hating Cena because we think that's a popular thing. We have genuine reasons. Look, if Cena was a decent character and they handled him well...
Because Orton sucks as well. He's boring as fuck.
Yeah. Look, I'm not doing it to be popular. I'm not saying I hate Cena because I want everyone to agree with me and go, oh yeah, he hates Cena too, let's all be best friends. I'm saying it because from a character point of view, he's boring. He's too predictable. He wins all his matches. He's always in the main event of everything. Now, if they changed his character and people were booing him and yet I liked him, I'd defend him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it to be on the bandwagon. I'm just being, from my own personal point of view, he's a one-dimensional character.
Orton is boring and doesn't make any sense. Fuck me, he's even said I want to be a heel, because his gimmick as a face, Randy Orton's gimmick, makes no sense.
Some people are just born to be heels like Randy Orton. He's got to be a heel.
Yeah,
His
theme song goes, I hear voices in my head. Who in the fuck is going to cheer for that?
No, if you listen to his theme song, not only does it say, I hear voices in my head, but it also has the wording, I have a voice that is the saviour, hates to love, and loves to hate. Now, that exactly is not a heroic thing to be saying.
Yeah, can you imagine Hulk Hogan coming out, I am a complete psychopath, fight for the rights of all the nutters. Like, that doesn't make sense.
It'd be like somebody coming out and doing the goose step, and they're supposed to be a baby face.
That is literally like Hulk Hogan coming out with a Hitler moustache and doing the goose step.
I'm still expecting to be cheered.
Can you imagine that at WrestleMania fucking, I don't know, 3, Andre the Giant versus Nazi Hogan? Can you imagine that? It doesn't make sense.
And yet Nazi Hogan is pushed as a babyface.
Yeah, that's my point. It wouldn't make sense.
To be honest, I would actually pay to watch that now. I would pay to watch that.
Can somebody edit WrestleMania 3, please?
Nancy Hogan.
Best friend forever. That's fucking hilariously funny. But it is true. It doesn't make sense. It's just like... I don't understand how Randy Orton's character can be a face!
We say this, Andy, but I guarantee if Orton was a heel for this entire time, we'd be like, we're bored of him. In fact, we're bored of him already.
Well... At least turning him heel for a short period of time would give him some kind of fucking...
depth.
Yeah. I mean, they need to get rid of the Viper gimmick, because it's over. It's way past its fucking...
They're trying to turn him almost into the next Austin.
Yeah, but they never will. And if anything, Punk is the closest you're ever going to
And
get.
you know what? This is going back to what I said about old minds trying to replicate what happened in the past. You've got...
create new people!
Yeah, but it's like Orton. Let's be honest, they're trying to make him the new Stone Cold Steve Austin. Is it any coincidence that Austin's nickname was the Texas Rattlesnake and Orton is the Viper? And the fact that their finishers are quite similar and can be hit out of nowhere? I don't think it is. I think they did that on purpose myself. But that's what I mean. Austin was such a well-known and famous character. They're just trying to incorporate a new version into today's generation. But the thing is, it doesn't always work.
He will come out and start drinking beer at some point.
Well, knowing him, it won't be beer. It'll probably be a joint. That would be awesome, actually. I'm gonna just after a match, just this is good
Yeah,
shit.
that's how he becomes normal. He's just like, I am a schizophrenic, I'm insane, and it was because of pot, that's what happened. Or maybe because he smokes pot, he becomes instantly, like, chilled out, and he just goes, I am so happy,
He hears the
guys."
voices because he isn't high, and that's the twist.
Yeah, that is brilliant. We have just written Randy Orton's new character. He's like 420 Randy Orton. And that's what his new movie is going to be called. The Arcade, no, 420. Then he goes,
That would actually be pretty good.
I'm fucking hungry. And then instead of getting beer, he'll just get like Doritos and just smash them open and start like fucking pouring them in his mouth.
just goes under the
My
ring.
God,
and
I'm a
has bag of
creative
Doritos.
genius. And then when RVD eventually comes back, it'll be fucking brilliant.
They make a tag team.
Oh my God, that would be brilliant.
They make a tag team called the 420. Yes.
Or the pothead. I don't know.
No, it has to be 420.
Or Orton and RVD get the munchies.
Doritos.
Yes, just munchies. Brilliant. See? This is genius. This is why they need to remove PG and bring us involved. Because we would we would make this industry so much weirder and better.
Oh.
Dear. But yeah, I've got things that are listed as good for WWE, like Dolph Ziggler, and that was really about it, besides some hiring people from the independent scene.
But not even
But
using
then
them
again,
well.
that fucking doesn't help Ring of Honor, so we basically come...
Yeah, but let's look at Antonio Cesaro.
Oh, you mean pepperoni nipples?
Yeah, and the fact that
What's up with that?
he wears the wristbands on his thighs.
He's not a rugby player. He's a fucking wrestler. He never played rugby in his life.
That's what I mean. That's the other thing. WWE, they get these indie stars and then they have to turn them into their own thing because they're WWE. They have to. It's like Daniel Bryan. It was originally Bryan Danielson, but he can't be Bryan Danielson in WWE. He has to be Daniel Bryan. And even though he had that promo where he goes, I'm not Daniel Bryan anymore. I'm Bryan Danielson. Oh, guess what? Oh, he's still called Daniel Bryan. Yeah,
Brilliant.
Seems legit. Makes sense.
Yeah, can you imagine if they did that to CM Punk? And Phil Brooks has walked in, they talked to Vince, and he's gone, alright Vince, alright Phil, yeah Vince, I'm straight edge, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, and that's basically my character, because that's me, that's what I do. Okay, Phil, you're now going to be the new version of Doink the Clown. You know what I mean? It doesn't make fucking sense. Who the fuck would do that? That's like having Stone Cold debut from WCW and going, you were called Stunning Steve Austin, but you want to be this edgier character. What name have you got in mind, Steve? Well, by God, I think I've got Stone Cold
Why
in
do you
mind, by
always get
God.
him mixed up with JR?
Shut up, they're friends, okay? Right, so then Vince just goes, nah, that's just stupid, that's dumb. So from now on, we're just gonna call you the Ringmaster. Oh shit, that was a thing, yeah.
That actually happened.
That actually happened. Oh shit, sorry. If anything, that just proves my point.
Yep. No, you're right
God.
though. You're right. They need to. I think instead of the only person really from the independent scene that they've embraced as still being an independent wrestler is Sin Cara. But then again, they changed his name, didn't they?
Yeah, they changed his name, gave him a blue mask, and then suddenly when they gave him the blue mask, he lost his ability to wrestle and botches all the time.
So, this is the problem. I think they get too worried that, for some reason, people from the independent scene will follow these guys to WWE. Oh, no, I know what it is. It's so that they can market them as their own character and then trademark the name so then they can't use it when they leave. Despite the fact they were probably famous before coming into WWE. In fact, I'm surprised they let CM Punk be CM Punk.
Yeah, I'm completely shocked. If they were going to go with Doink the Clown, I'm surprised they didn't call him Phil Donkey Clowny Man.
Don't ever name wrestlers ever again.
Like, when Colt Cabana went to WWE...
Scotty Goldman.
What kind of a name is that?
Why can't they
It's
just
just
let
like-
him be Colt Cabana and let him stay as that
you
character?
know what the worst thing is? They just, like, he must have gone, Right, my name everywhere else is Colt Cabana. What religion do you follow? Oh, I'm Jewish. Okay, we're gonna give you that name. And you're just like, well, that's just racist and it's stupid as well. Who would call themselves that? Who, in their right mind, like in kayfabe, if a mummy and daddy Scotty Goldman, you know, and then named the kid, why would you call it Scotty? Every character called Scotty in WWE history has been a complete tosser.
Failure, basically.
Scotty Too Hottie, Scotty Goldman. It's like, why?
I don't get. I just think, even from a business standpoint, there's no reason as to why you can't just let them be these independent characters that they were. I just don't get why they have to change it and change their name and change their character. Because, if anything, if you look at it, if anything, it's only proven as a recipe for disaster. They never get over with the fans, and eventually they get released, meaning that that investment was a waste of time. If you just let Colt Cabana stay as Colt Cabana, keep his Colt Cabana character, and then bring him on television, and I don't know, people who were familiar with that from the independent scene might come over to WWE, see him being Colt Cabana on WWE and go, okay, I'll watch this now. But when you debut Colt Cabana as Scotty Goldman, a guy who can't even talk with the English language, the independent fans are just going to go, yeah, I remember why I stopped watching this in the first place.
Well, I think that's probably a natural conclusion to where we should end this.
Definitely.
This has been a special edition of the Suplet as to why pro wrestling sucks complete dick. I've been Andy Kwan.
And I am Liam Dunn, who is definitely in America. This is not pre-taped in the slightest. Look, there goes that bald eagle again.
You're standing right next to the Statue of Liberty, aren't you?
I am.
And the Grand Canyon.
I'm standing next to the Statue of Liberty, and I can see Las Vegas from where I am as well. So, you know.
Are you also drinking some Mountain Dew while you're out?
I am drinking Mountain Dew while I talk to Chief Balls a lot. He would talk, but he's got this weird thing where he doesn't talk to people. Hence why he's not talking. He does exist. I am in America.
I am a complete psychopath. Fight for the rights of all the nutters. Like, that doesn't make sense.